Welcome back, zombie fans. It is October, the most wonderful month. It's got great weather, and you guys better be watching horror and thriller and paranormal movies all month long. That is your homework. You better get to it. But right now, we are talking The Walking Dead, and we're looking at Season 11, Episode 7, Broken Promises. We only have one episode left for this first part of the season, and I just want to get some key takeaways from tonight and get your thoughts on it. So we talk about broken promises, right? And we have two different groups that we're mainly focused on. So one is Negan and Maggie and what's left of their little attack crew that's going to attack this psycho Pope, which this dude's a ticking time bomb just waiting to happen. We'll get to him in a minute. But furthermore, we're going to look at the Commonwealth and Eugene and the big time mistake that he made, the mistake he made tonight. So let's just get straight into it. So I had been wondering if Stephanie was somehow kind of either testing them or, was she in on some kind of weird conspiracy, but it seems not. So for doing what they did, which is basically go behind the Commonwealth's back and try to contact their colony, they were punished by basically giving a duty to clear out homes, right? This next sector of living that they probably want to clear out for newcomers and so forth or whatever. So they're clearing out I'd say hundreds of walkers in this area, which is extremely dangerous. But luckily, Eugene and Ezekiel and all of them, they're all solid and they're good and they're doing their job and they're doing it pretty well. Ezekiel even gets medical attention and help. So he's super excited and everything's going on. And let's just get straight to it. What did Eugene do? So him and Stephanie get put on this other detail. So the dude who's in the commercial, all right, the guy who's it sounds like this guy doesn't have a ton of power, but clearly he wants something. And there's always one. There's always one in a group that's trying to be corrupt or wants a little something on the back end, as he spoke to Yumiko, right? He says, hey, I'll help your friends out. And, when you get into high power, maybe you'll help me out one day and you won't blink an eye at it. See, there's always something, which has made me wonder, how did the Commonwealth, how have they survived as long as they have? Because there's always those little jackasses that are trying to undermine the authority and what's trying to go down. Anyways, I digress. So he sends them up this hill, and we noticed that there was this couple going on a picnic or something, and the dude was a complete pompous ass, right? And so they go up the hill, and this couple's there, and they're making out underneath this table, and all of a sudden walkers start coming out of nowhere. No security forces around, so Eugene decides to run into action, which I was just loving anyways. I mean, brawler Eugene, which is amazing. He's got his knife. He's just rocking these zombies. Remember a year ago or so, maybe a little more? I mean, he couldn't even go near a zombie without crapping his pants. And now here he is doing his job. And Stephanie's doing her thing too. And even after all that's done, this little pompous ass guy basically starts getting the ass at him. And he starts going on about, how dare you break up our little date and this and that. And I was like, Eugene, punch this guy. Well, he did. And it comes to find out this dude is the main top woman over the Commonwealth. It's her son. Of course, it's her son. I mean, could it have gone any other way? Eugene gets arrested. So now he's put into a corner where he's going to have to give up details now of where Alexandria is and what's going on. And see, I'm trying to figure out this dude's motive. And I'm forgetting his name, but the guy who was on the commercial for the Commonwealth, the real clean-cut, blue suit dude, whatever, the one who's looking for something from Yumiko. And what does he need the location for? I mean, what are they to gain out of this? I mean, are they psychopaths, kind of like the World Beyond CRM, that pretty much murdered that entire colony campus, right? In World Beyond, the season 1, first half? I mean, what does he want from this? So this is the true questions, and I can't quite figure it out yet. But I can bet you it's probably not good. And now Eugene's stuck in a hard place. He may be lucky if he even gets out. I mean, his friends could be clearing walkers for the next month or two, and that's even if they make it out of that alive, which includes Princess. Yeah, and they'll probably send Stephanie back too. So I don't think Stephanie's in on any of this. I mean, she's having to go through the punishment just as like the rest of them. So, they got to get out. They got to get out, and they have to get out now. But I'm not sure they're going to be able to. And Yumiko, she's trying to battle all the powers could be. She's trying to get the meeting with the high end. She almost got to it. But, of course, that's when Eugene punched her son, and now everything's been put on hold. Her brother was even taken off of the street. That was a very odd scene, right? I mean, and he even... Did you notice the thing he said? He said something about, you cannot let anybody know here that I'm a doctor. Did you hear that? So what I'm thinking is, and we've seen some scenes for future into the season in 2022, they're doing tests, they're trying to create a cure. And I wonder if her brother knows that these doctors are pretty much, they're just snatched up and they're basically told to do whatever it is the Commonwealth wants them to do. And their lives are pretty much destroyed from there on. I mean, they work completely for Commonwealth and probably don't get any other freedoms. that's probably why he wants to just remain a baker. That's my guess. Let us see as we move further into the season. So that's pretty much what's going on in the Commonwealth. I mean, talk about a terrible situation. See, and I know this colony is dirty. I mean, you know it is. They couldn't have gotten to the power of where they are without being dirty along the way. So we'll find out more. I don't know what's going to happen in this last episode for this mid-season, but it probably is going to be pretty interesting. So let's make sure we all tune in for that next week. Now, let's get over to poor Daryl and the situation he's stuck in. And I really like tonight's episode too, on a side note, because bringing that humanity factor kind of back in as they find that guy who's out just in the middle of nowhere just trying to get supplies and whatever. He says his wife's wounded really badly. Not good. I thought Leah was going to blow him away. Pope said kill him, and she didn't. I thought she was, because I was just like, oh God, what's Daryl going to do? Just let her kill this dude in cold blood right in front of him? Well, she didn't. She let him actually lead him back to their hiding spot, which is a good hiding spot, by the way. That was cool. There was a brick wall behind that furnace part. I mean, that was pretty legit. But anyways, the wife was mortally wounded, or at least of some sorts, and she knew it. And she knew that her husband and son would not leave until she was dead or whatever. So Leah, anyways, the father and the son leave, and Leah almost kills her, and she can't do it. So you see, there's humanity in Leah too. And she has to undermine Pope there, and Daryl even says, what are you going to tell him? And she said, I'll tell him that you killed him. It'll be good for you. She knows what she needs to do. She's just not willing to take the power to actually pull the trigger or on Pope, mind you, kill his ass and get the hell out. And maybe take a few of your guys with you. I mean, they could be useful. Get them unbrainwashed from whatever Kool-Aid you all have been drinking for so long. But Daryl's going to have to get out of here. He cannot stay. And he was about to reveal, he was saying, Leah, I have to tell you something. And of course, Pope came in on the communication, and she's like, we got to go. So it was a good intimate moment. She was vulnerable. He could have told her what was going on, but what would she have done? I mean, honestly, I think she would have said, like, you telling me this now, when everything's going on. I don't think she would have killed him on the spot, but I think she would have been like, what the hell am I going to do with you? And she'd be contemplated probably to tell Pope what he's up to. And that Pope dude, is a ticking time bomb. Did you see the way he was yelling at those people earlier in the episode? He goes, your brothers are slain. He goes, don't you feel ashamed? I mean, he feels through force, power, and aggression that he'll get people to do what he wants them to do. Now, by the way, that's kind of what Negan did, right? In a lot of ways, which we'll get to him in a second. But the dude, he's clearly an awful leader. I mean, he killed one of his own. He's no good. He's no good. So, but obviously Daryl's sticking around. If we're all wondering why is he sticking around, he saw the food storage. He knows that's number one, and I think that's the only reason why he hasn't bounced yet. He has the inn, and he has to stay there until I guess Maggie can regroup and figure out what's going on. So let's get to that right quick and finish this off. Maggie and Negan. How interesting tonight, their conversation. So we saw some gained ground, at least, between their relationship. I mean, and he pulls a pretty hard one on her. He says, okay, Maggie, I will follow you. I will go to my death even, whatever. But you have to promise me that you will not hold this vendetta against me anymore, and I won't have to be looking over my back wondering if you're going to kill me. She ends up shaking his hand, and pretty quickly, mind you, which I'm thinking to myself, oh God, that was a little fast. I mean, she was thinking about it for a second, but I was thinking to myself, oh my God, you're totally not going to stick to this. And he even gave her a little smile. And to me, I don't know, I'd like to know what you thought. I thought that smile was kind of like, I want to trust you, but I still feel like you're lying to me right here to my face. So anyways, we don't have to get into it too much, but basically they have some conversations. Interesting enough, they adopt to get back at this colony that, so Pope annihilated, Maggie's colony and stole their food and everything else. So obviously Maggie, she wants revenge and she wants to get the food back. So Alexandria doesn't starve. So she decides to adopt the Whisperers plan of basically gaining a horde of walkers and marching them. And if you saw that last scene, that was a walker army. Holy crap. I mean, talk about power. And so Pope's little Reaper crew, they're definitely in for some troubles. So it's going to be a pretty exciting final episode, I believe. I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. I hope you've been enjoying this conversation so far. Tonight, guys, I got to be honest, this season's been pretty legit. I mean, a little slow in some parts with the Commonwealth. Obviously, they're trying to build that up for probably a pretty exciting and crazy back half of the season, which will actually be a full season because this is a season and a half for season 11. So I look forward to seeing that. It's a shame we have to wait now to 2022 before we can all gather back for it, but I'm going to try and stick to and do World Beyond reviews, which the first season was atrocious. I'm hoping the second season can pick it up now that we have more players in the field and things are actually kind of getting interesting. not necessarily around Hope and Iris. I could give two shits honestly about those girls, but anyways, and maybe we'll get lucky and they'll get bitten or something. So, and I think Fear is on its way back too here within a week, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure to come back out, check out the channel, like and subscribe if you're enjoying. I give this episode a solid 7.5. Again, I've been ranging between the 7 and 8s for most of these episodes. I know some of you aren't quite enjoying Pope's style or whatever, but I mean, the dude's he's a hothead lunatic merc pretty much that's leading a crew of mercs. I mean, so it's not like he's super deep. He's not deep like a Governor or like a Negan or something like that. I mean, you have to understand that as you're going through. And I think that's why they're probably ending Walking Dead 2, because I think we've seen all the villains we probably need to see. I mean, is there really going to be anybody else that's so like mind-blowing? I doubt it. And so that's probably why we're finally trailing down to the final. I hope Rick is coming back, guys. Oh, cross your fingers with me. Let's make it happen. Come on back, Andrew Lincoln. So again, this is Mike with the ZMM Show. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to come out on Sundays and check out this content. I actually am getting ready to start filming for my indie series, Dead Nightmare. I know I'm only about 1.5 years behind, but hey, thank you, COVID, or F you, COVID, whatever you want to say. That's what's been taking me so long on that part. So I'm trying to get the people together and the players to get this filming done for you all. So I hope you enjoyed. Take care. Have a great week. Watch those horror, paranormal, and thriller movies. Let me know in the comments if there's any ones that you're absolutely going to watch. For me, I already started off the season with all the Pet Sematary. I watched Pet Sematary. I watched the second one, which is but I still wanted to see it again. And I even watched the newer one again, which is I think it was done in 2019. It had I think that dude's Andrew Clark. I think his name is something Clark. The dude's a really great actor. So if you haven't checked it out, maybe check it out and let me know what you thought about it. So take care, you all, and I will catch you guys at the next review. See you guys.